via internet. Il link per la connessione lo trovate sulla pagina ufficiale del progetto Interreg Italia e Slovenia. Mrs. Pochlova, you can stay with us. You can go on the second stage and take the microphone. In torej, če želite, bi se lahko povezali tudi preko spleta, s tem, da link povezava je na voljo na spletni strani projekta. So the link, the connection for the presentation and the event via on the online streaming is available on our website. Thank you very much. In torej e quindi Simona Pochlova from the European Commission.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. So here it's me again, and thank you for allowing me to introduce the theme of today's meeting, the operations of strategic importance. Of course, we will namely speak about how operations of strategic importance can cooperate together and what it brings when they cooperate and when they build on the results of previous projects. But before we start, I would like to give us the context in which we are. Why operations of strategic importance? At the beginning, let's face the hard truth. The European Union invests 392 billion euros in the period 21-27 in EU cohesion policy. But very few Europeans actually know about it. According to the last Eurostat results, how many people do you think that know about how much European cohesion policy invests? It's only 40% for the mainstream programs, and for Interreg it's even less. Only 25% of European citizens can name an Interreg project in their vicinity. And we do believe that this is really a pity. It's a missed opportunity. We think that if citizens do not see the impact of what EU does in their regions, how can they trust it? How can they support it? How can they identify with the European Union? So that's why we introduced the operations of strategic importance for the 21-27 period. As our Vice President Raffaele Fitto said, cohesion policy is not about spending money. It is about changing lives. Change must be seen, felt, and shared. And operations of strategic importance are our flagship projects, those that tell the story of Europe in a way that numbers can never alone achieve. So, we elevated operations of strategic importance from the large-scale projects, and the idea is that they are not a mere large projects. They deliver impact, they inspire replication, and more crucially, they communicate the European added value that resonates with people. So what makes an operation of strategic importance different from any other Interreg project? I believe that the answer lies in 3 dimensions. First of all, there must be a high added value for the program area. The operations of strategic importance have to go beyond the business of usual. They should address multiple challenges at once. For example, tackle climate adaptation together with economy and digitalization or social inclusion. And I also believe that the projects Poseidone and Adrian Cyclotour, they are perfect examples of that. We will hear more about these, so I will not go into detail, but Poseidone connects protected areas, sustainable fisheries, and climate adaptation measures. And Adrian Cyclotour combines cycling infrastructure, digital tools, and local business networks. the second feature that operations of strategic importance should represent a model for replication, with also combined with high level of cooperation. We don't want to see only just successful Interreg projects. We want a blueprint for others. And the OSI CARSO 2 is again an excellent example of that, because it promotes integrated territorial planning, it aligns policies on land management, cultural heritage, and environmental protection. Such collaboration ensures that cross-border challenges are tackled in a holistic way, in an integrated way, and not through fragmented efforts. And what we particularly appreciate is that this project is also combined with the cross-border governance. It creates a better governance, it creates a new European grouping for territorial cooperation, which is a huge added value. The operations of strategic importance, for the third, should be huge communication powerhouses. They don't just do. Operations of strategic importance do, show, and tell. The communication part of operations of strategic importance is something which does not come on top of the activities. This is something which is core business of operations of strategic importance. They need to have a dedicated communication plan whose implementation is part of the core activities, measurable outreach, for example, how many, the media outreach, social media, or also citizens' feedback. Teams implementing operations of strategic importance should think about them indeed not like projects, but rather than like campaigns. And Laura mentioned it already, that they want to launch a huge campaign, and I would like to congratulate her for that. Interreg operations of strategic importance should have the ambition of bringing stakeholders across borders together, from local mayors to EU policymakers. And as I already said, I'm really curious and keen to see today how the three projects that are going to be presented, how they capitalize on the results of their predecessors. What are the results of this work together that they are doing? And also what they do to act as catalysts for cooperation with other Interreg programs of the Mediterranean area. To conclude, I would like to say that in the future, we count also to have strategic projects, strategic operations. Interreg will be built a bit differently around performance-based approach, but the very idea of very important strategic operations with a very strong core in communication will certainly remain. As our Vice President Fito said during the Cohesion Forum, every euro spent on regional development is an investment in Europe's future. But every euro not explained is a missed opportunity to win hearts and minds. So let's make sure that Interreg Italy-Slovenia operations of strategic importance are the ones that people will remember. The ones that prove that EU really delivers. Because in the end, the best communication is not what we say about our projects, but it is what the citizens think about their Europe. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks to Mrs. Poklova. E allora, signore e signori, il programma di oggi e di domani, come avete già sentito, mette in primo piano le operazioni di importanza strategica del programma Interreg Italia-Slovenia. Andiamo a conoscerle un po' meglio. Torej, program današnjega in jutrišnjega dne je posvečen operacijam strateškega pomena programa Interreg Italia-Slovenia. Zdaj je čas, da jih spoznamo pobliže. So, as you know, today we are speaking mostly about the operation of strategic importance of the Interreg Italy-Slovenia program. Let's have more information about them. In Adrian's cycle tour session, there will be presented the following projects by the following project managers that I invite on the stage, che invito sul palco. Quindi, Riccardo Maratini per Adrian Cycle Tour. E ancora, and now, Davor Dobrila, Cyrus, Interreg Italia-Croatia. Mate Daek, ECTRCE, Interreg Central Europe. Per Spluga Bianco, Interreg Italia-Svizzera, Monica Cribellati. E per Site, Interreg Italia-Croazia, Lorenzo Castelli. E quindi iniziamo con Riccardo Martini che ci presenterà l'operazione di importanza strategica Interreg Italia-Slovenia Adrian Cycle Tour.
Thank you very much and good morning from my side. I am a transport engineer. This is the first slide I have to comment. I am a transport engineer with quite some years of experience in European project on sustainable mobility, and I'm here today as consultant of Friuli Venezia Giulia Autonomous Region as to introduce you to this project that has been already a little bit anticipated. But being here in Grado reminds me of the fact that as a father, I've been teaching my son how to swim a few hundred meters from here for a few days. This is not in the slide, of course. And what's the point? The point is that swimming does not implies only the strength of your muscles in your arms, shoulders, or legs. Many things have to happen at once, and in other words, it is a coordinated effort. And the similar way, once you are developing an Adriatic-Ionian cycle tour for sustainable tourism, you have many components that have to be brought together. And in this way, of course, as the muscles, the infrastructure are key and fundamental, and we have to address them, but it's not enough. There are many other components that have to be addressed according to a systemic approach. And the systemic approach is also a strategic approach, as acknowledged by the fact that the project has been regarded as such in the Italy-Slovenia program area, where the development of the initiative that is represented here is carried out within a particularly relevant section as the cross-border one. It's not just the itinerary along the coast, it's the interconnections with the multimodal network, and of course there are many aspects that has to be taken into account. This is also represented by the keywords that you will be provided with in the second day workshop. So I invite you to stay with us till the end, because participants will have a long list of many components that are brought together. It's about the infrastructure, it's about the services to the cyclist, it is about, of course, also the intermodal connection, because as anticipated, we have to provide bike bus services, bike train services, bike boat services as tested in our project, of course. And nonetheless, also the opening to the sustainable tourism more broad point, which implies information provision and many other things. I'm not going through all them because time is running. And of course, this is part also on a more wider perspective of this user area approach, which is shown here, where the Adrian Cycle Tour is a flagship cross-pillar project of the European strategy dealing with the Adriatic-Ionian microregion. And a cross-pillar project because it's dealing with connecting the region and sustainable tourism as well. And you can see here those represented at the connection into the internet. So you want to embrace all the area that is reported here. And this implies, of course, dealing with other pieces of the puzzle, let's say, and we'll see in a minute what is implied. I will go to the next slide, maybe, because I want to highlight the fact that we are dealing with different portions. You can see on on this side, the representation of the pilots, the different kind of pilot that has been carried out within our project, dealing with the specific focus of the Italy-Slovenia program area. Other projects, my colleague will be talking about, are also dealing with other parts of the network. And altogether, this has to be integrated in a framework of European level, of national level, of regional level, multimodal links. Here, just for mentioning a few important ones, the Eurovelo routes. And you will be hearing about some of them during this session. It is about integration. How we can have integration, we have to have an overview. And for having an overview, it's important to profit from the fact that we can nowadays have a WebGIS representation because we have a map, and the map is like a campfire. People are gathering and seeing together things and discussing about it. I would just invite you maybe to check our developing Adrian Cycle Tour portal in the upcoming weeks for more information. I think that maybe we can stop here for the moment, and thank you very much for your attention.
Ma grazie mille a lei e facciamo l'applauso per... Spero che ci sentiamo. We continue with Mr. Davor Dobrila, representing Syros, Interreg Italia-Croatia. He will speak in English and also in Italian, maybe, as you want. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Greetings to everyone. My name is Davor Dobrila, and I work in the Istria region in Department of Tourism. So the Syros project is being implemented within the Interreg Italy-Croatia program. Lead partner is Autonomous Region of Friuli-Venezia Giulia, and the total budget is 2,700,000 euros, with 80% EU co-financing. The main objective of the project is to develop the Adriatic-Ionian cycle route in the program area as a backbone of a cross-border and internal network of multimodal services to support the cyclist journey. Today the focus is on the activity upgrading the cross-border cycling network. The main aim of this activity is contributing to the completion of Adriatic-Ionian cycle route, taking into account both the coastal cycle route and the main cycle connections to the inland. Therefore, the activity includes cycle infrastructures planning and designing, referred to 3 cycling axes. One is Trieste-Lignano-Venezia in Friuli-Venezia region, and one is Adriatic cycle path in Apulia region, and the third one is coastal cycle path in Istria region that is mostly following Eurovelo 8 route. Additionally, in mapping the Adriatic-Ionian cycle route, the activity provides its contribution for inserting the entire Adriatic-Ionian cycle route to the network of Eurovelo routes, also in coordination with EUSAIR. When tracing any cycle route, first of all, property legal relations must be resolved. Also, the same applies when tracing an international cycle routes, and the rule is mainly to use the roads or paths with where property legal relations are already settled. Then bike guide or certified route evaluator go into the field to start tracing and recording GPS tracks. Along with the GPS track, it is recommended to describe the primary or main route, divided into daily sections, sections with intense traffic, and note any potential adaptation and improvement of the route. This is the basis of route tracing, and additionally, it is also recommended to include some points of interest, such as accommodation, bike repair services, bike counters, bike rental, bike transfers, let's say all services that one cyclist needs on the road. Also, it's very important it's very important to let's say to make visible all bike-friendly services and bike-friendly public transportation. In relation to other infrastructure and equipment along the routes, It is important to install the signposts, rest areas, service points, and info points to provide users with all necessary services. Digital tools such as WebGIS and mobile applications make it easier for cyclists to plan and navigate routes. After mapping or tracing a cycle route, installing signposts and all necessary equipment, it is very important to maintain and manage the route. And that's all. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Hvala vam puno. Grazie mille a lei. The mic will be passed to Mr. Mate Dajek because we have, the presentation is already done. That's why, it's Lorenzo Castelli written there. Okay, they are so clever and so fast that they changed the presentation. E quindi diamo la parola al signor Lorenzo Castelli di site Interreg Italia-Croazia. Prego.
So, good morning everyone. Thank you for your invitation. My name is Lorenzo Castelli. I'm at University of Trieste, and I have the pleasure to be the project leader of the site project, which is again an Italy-Croatia Interreg project. Here it is different, maybe next slide, because we are addressing a methodology, so we try to promote a methodology in order to make all the destination more accessible, more user-friendly. So we have 8 partners, 4 from Italy and 4 from Croatia. And the idea is based on what we call the principle of universal design. So if you make something which is easier, which is more usable for everyone, then automatically this will help also people who may have some problems. That can be disabilities, but can also be family with children. Like 4 kids, not easy to travel with 4 kids. You might have elderly people, which are fine, they're perfectly fine, but they are just older than the others. So, and this is the idea. So we have 4 pilot interventions. One is in Fano to make the waterfront redistribution. In Šibenik to make the fortress easier to access, the St. Michael Fortress. In Dubrovnik to make a museum more child-friendly, and also to the airport of Dubrovnik, with 3 ideas. Make languages easier. So you plan when you want to start a travel, then you plan. So the communication. So there is easy language, for instance. You know how much this can be improved. Then when you arrive in a given destination, then you want to orient yourself. So the wayfinding, how you orient people and to find what they want to do. They want to go up to the fortress. Is there their indication there? And then if you are at destination, you want to enjoy the spaces. So the idea, as I said, is exactly to promote these principles of universal design. You can see in the slide there are 7 principles, and if you build your destination, or your website, or your museum according to this principle, normally then it will be much easier for everyone, and also with people with some kind of problem at a given time. The second thing is, the first thing is to promote this methodology, and then the second is to provide some practical reference to practical guidance for those who would like to do it, and not only to the case studies that we did, but also to extend. We were invited to an Italy-Slovenia project to how this could be applied to make gardens more accessible, for instance, completely different way. Or we have itineraries of some cultural events from the Comune di Venezia, for instance. And then the last point is exactly to support the decision level, the destination level decision making, in order to help them to invest and to plan their destination according to this principle. There are very nice examples in the world, in Japan, in the Northern Europe, in Sweden, in Finland, or the island of Tenerife. So that's the idea. And we are working with the project is going to end by the end of this year. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks to you, grazie a lei. Lorenzo Castelli, quindi. And now we have Mr. Mate Dajek from EICTRCE, so Interreg Central Europe. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Buongiorno for everyone. My name is Mate Dajek from Hungary. And it's really a pleasure that ICTR project was invited to this conference by the Interreg Central Europe program and the host of this conference today. So, as you can see, our project, which is called ICTR-CE project, was funded by the Interreg Central Europe program. And we have worked together with 12 partners from Central European regions. The lead partner of this project was Westpannon, so our organization, and we are engaged in regional development processes. And one of the key topics for us is the cycling and sustainable tourism. My task today is to briefly present the impact measurement system developed in the framework of the ICTR-CE project. The project, in general, we had two main goals. First, we strengthened the innovation capacities of the SMEs along the Eurovelo 13, the Iron Curtain Trail, which is a European cultural route nowadays. And the second aim was to develop really sustainable, climate-friendly and bookable packages along the route. So in order to develop a really great and market-oriented and successful bookable offers, we have to be transparent and reliable towards our clients. And this means, to achieve this, we developed the impact measurement system, which is an evidence-based and indicator-based online tool, which is able to measure the environmental, the social, and the economic impacts of tourists, those tourists who book the ICTR cycling product through the official Eurovelo booking center. So we believe that this is really an innovative approach because with the IMS we can measure the impacts of the tourist not at destination level but at product level, because the Iron Curtain Trail itself is a long-distance European cycling trail which crossing through many countries with very different socio and economic backgrounds and also with very diverse tourism governance structures. The IMS itself has two complementary components. First, we are able to calculate the environmental impacts using the Karmaka system, and we also developed a tailor-made methodology to collect information by the service providers about not only the environmental impacts, but also the social and economic impacts of tourists. So, when we try to develop a new package in this system, it is the system considers 6 groups of indicators, such as the booking center services, the food and beverages, the activities, the accommodations, the mobility and transport related services, and the tour operator services. So based on these 6 criteria, the system provides a comprehensive overview about the performance of the cycling package and also the sustainability performance of each service providers, including the package. So it makes really easy for us to compare different cycling packages or the involved and engaged tourism service providers. And what we would like to do with this sustainability score, so we use these sustainability scores in our Good Impact program, which is a valorization program. And based on the sustainability score coming from the IMS system and based on another methodology developed in the ICTR-CE project, all tourists who book this ICTR cycling product can mitigate their negative impacts on the environment and paying a surcharge, a special surcharge, and it enables us to collect and gather this special dedicated funds, and using these funds in other local nature conservation or climate-related actions in the future.
Thank you very
That's
much,
all.
very interesting. So, Mate Daek, thank you. E concludiamo dando la parola a Monica Cribellati per Spluga Bianco, Interreg Italia-Svizzera.
Buongiorno a tutti e a tutte. Innanzitutto vi porto i saluti dell'amministrazione della comunità montana della Val Chiavenna e vorremmo ringraziare l'organizzazione di questo evento, l'agenzia, l'autorità di gestione del programma Interreg Italia-Svizzera, la città di Grado che ci ha ospitato, che ci ospita, e anche un ringraziamento alla nostra autorità di gestione del programma Interreg Italia-Svizzera, Regione Lombardia, che ci ha scelto come progetto. Noi siamo una realtà molto piccola, ci troviamo in Lombardia, nel nord della Lombardia, siamo poco meno di 25.000 persone. Però per rispondere a quelle che sono le esigenze e le sfide che provengono dal territorio, partendo proprio dalla sua tutela, valorizzazione e anche sviluppo, ma soprattutto quello di fornire alla popolazione quelli che sono gli strumenti e i servizi perché decida di rimanere in un territorio che è marginale, che è una zona rurale, che è frontaliera, che stiamo assistendo a un costante ma lento declino della popolazione e soprattutto lo spopolamento delle zone più montane. Per rispondere a queste sfide abbiamo capito che dobbiamo aprirci, dobbiamo uscire dal nostro territorio, dobbiamo conoscere nuovi territori, nuove istituzioni, nuove persone e scambiare con loro idee e conoscenze e cercare di portare questo patrimonio indietro e cercare di adattarlo a quelle che sono le nostre caratteristiche e peculiarità. Il progetto Spluga Bianco nasce, è il frutto di una storica cooperazione tra la Val Chiavenna e i territori delle aree svizzere a noi vicine e nasce da due progetti di cooperazione Interreg Italia-Svizzera che sono la Via Spluga e lo Spluga Bianco 2.0 che hanno definito, implementato e innanzitutto prima ideato un sentiero trekking, quindi ci spostiamo dal ciclismo al proprio camminare. La Via Spluga è un sentiero che è certificato tra i percorsi e i cammini del Touring Club italiano e ripercorre i passi di un'antica via commerciale e di comunicazione sfruttata sin dal tempo dei Romani e congiunge Chiavenna che si trova in Italia con Thusis che si trova in Svizzera, arrivando fino ai 2100 metri del passo dello Spluga. È percorribile da, neve permettendo, da maggio-giugno fino a settembre-ottobre. Ha avuto un grandissimo successo, quest'anno compie 25 anni e sulla base del grande successo che ha avuto in questi anni e grazie al forte lavoro di cooperazione con gli amici svizzeri si è cercato di pensare a qualcosa anche per il periodo invernale e quindi al centro c'era anche soprattutto in primis la sostenibilità di qualcosa di nuovo. La comunità montana della Val Chiavenna è anche sottoscrittrice della missione europea di adattamento ai cambiamenti climatici, quindi i cambiamenti climatici li vediamo molto sul nostro territorio perché sono diminuite le precipitazioni nevose, diminuiscono anche le precipitazioni di pioggia, c'è un aumento delle temperature, e quindi è anche molto difficile, poi noi siamo una zona di montagna con un turismo montano, avere anche della neve sparata perché se non c'è acqua per produrre neve siamo fermi e poi anche un'attività molto energivora perché produrre neve costa molto in energia. Quindi al primo posto c'era la sostenibilità e quindi si è venuto a creare intorno al nucleo abitato di Montespluga, che si trova a 1900 metri e è abitato da neanche 10 persone, un comprensorio sciistico, il primo comprensorio sciistico europeo senza impianti di risalita, dove si punta molto su lo sci alpinismo, su il freerider e anche sulle ciaspolate o anche le camminate. Quindi è una valorizzazione della montagna e continuare a essere a contatto con la natura. Un'attività molto particolare che vedete, su quale puntiamo molto, è quella da trasmettere soprattutto alle nuove generazioni e ai bambini, e ha avuto molto successo, stiamo conducendo con le scuole, è quella della sicurezza in montagna. È bello andare in montagna, però bisogna essere sicuri e consapevoli dei rischi che si corrono, e cominciare soprattutto dai bambini e dalle scuole è fondamentale per far conoscere anche a loro i limiti che la montagna propone. Questo.
Ottimo, bene, un bel modo per interpretare quindi in maniera sostenibile e anche alternativa la montagna. E allora, se riusciamo, ci alziamo tutti per una fotografia finale. Vi ringrazio anche per essere stati così veloci nel presentare appunto i propri progetti. Ci siamo già alzati, però vuole concludere e aggiungere qualcosa, prego.
I was rushing just to have the time for a little bit of conclusion. As you know, hearing from all these interventions, what we are talking about are different facets of a similar overall set of opportunities. Here you have reported the representation, the logo of the different projects, and you can see how they can be brought together by the network of Eurovelo cycleways, for instance, that are reported here. You have been hearing about the Iron Curtain Trail, which is the one in light blue color reported there. We've been talking about, of course, the Adriatic-Ionian route, which is in black color, but is linked to the Eurovelo Mediterranean route in brown color, and many other initiatives that are at national and regional level. So it's very difficult to overestimate the potential for synergies between our projects with other projects, Interreg, for instance, that have been dealing or are being dealing with the intermodal solution for cycle tourism. And of course, the key point is bringing together different pieces of the puzzle and being aware of that. And the representation that we have seen in the WebGIS before maybe could be a way to also raise awareness about the potential, but also to the fruits of the Interreg cooperation. I'm referring to the remarks made before. I would stop now and thank you.
Ok, thank you very much to you, Riccardo Maratini. Mi riprendo io il microfono e voi vi mettete in posa per la foto. It's a moment dedicated to a photo, to a group photo. Riccardo Maratini, Davor Dobrila, Mate Daek, Monica Cribellati, Lorenzo Castelli. Hvala lepa, grazie mille. Thank you very much.